a gimmick machine. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Yay.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing,
What's
Jay?
going on here?
Hey!
Dogs are barking. Everybody's excited. The whole town can't wait for this. We're pretty excited over here.
Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you're pumped. Tex is the name of the dog? Is that the name of the dog, Tex?
That's Tex. Named after the first, after the division champs down here, the AFC South.
Okay. All right. Texans certainly playing their best football. Certainly playing their best football. Going to the playoffs.
Hey, we're going to be playing football, all right? We'll be playing football, you know?
I'm a little bit worried about the future of the AFC South and also the last 10 years. Obviously, the Colts have not won. The Texans win again. I saw you get real excited on the internet after I posted a blog on the X. You know, I saw a little excitement from the J.J. Watt account.
I looked at it and I was like, man, it's really long. Do I want to read all that? And then I read the first 2 lines. I was like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Let me sit down. I actually sat down in a chair and I said, let's just dive into this right here. This is great. I mean, I have to say, obviously the Colts, we had a great battle many times. They've had my number a couple times. I've had theirs a couple times. And sometimes you just got to, when I see this family infighting, it's good to entertain.
Okay, yeah. Sounds like you're pretty excited. I'll have you know, this is only going to last a few weeks, and then next year's Colts team is about to be the best one ever. I don't know if you know that best one.
Oh, you're not going to see it because you don't have any tickets.
I'll watch. I'll be excited to watch from home.
Gutsiki.
Yeah, Gutsiki could buy the tickets if I'd like to, but also. Watching from home's not bad either.
Not bad at all.
Not bad either, you know, especially.
I saw a stat. Is this stat correct? I don't know if this stat's correct. I just saw a stat. You never know on X.
True.
Since the last time the Colts have won the AFC South, every other team in the division has won it twice.
Yeah.
At least.
That is true.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Titans and Jaguars are in that.
That's real.
No way the Jags have won.
Bortles? Whoa.
Yeah.
The Jags have won twice
It's a championship.
since the last time you guys won it. I couldn't believe it. I had the stat check.
Yep, it's real.
Well, you didn't fact check it. That's why you said I don't know, and you just wanted to present it.
I came to the show that does the best fact checking on the planet.
Amen.
Thank you. Nobody gives us enough credit for
Stat
that.
that.
Yeah, hashtag stat that. Yeah, it's not great, okay? But I know.
What's the reaction been? Has there been reaction from inside the building, inside the city? Seems like a lot of support on your side, I will say.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of support in the building as well. Feels like there's been a lot of support. Ex-players that have been in the building, a lot of support. Ex-players that have never been in this particular building, a lot of support. Feels like there's been a lot of support. And then there is obviously a lot of people that are, not a lot, but there is people that exist that aren't happy about what I said, like I should be supportive, like that's what they need, because especially with what Coach Saban's saying, it's like, I have been. I feel like I have been, I've made fun of the Houston Texans so many times, right to this guy's face. Mm-hmm. Remember, we were showing fake pictures of their stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Made
to
fun
make
of
it
their
look
bobblehead.
Like, boom,
Open 20 of them.
had 14 of these bobbleheads. I mean, just done it all. Every week I picked the Colts. Every fucking week I've picked the Colts. Yeah. I've been all in. I've been supportive. Hey, listen, they'll figure it out. They'll do this. They'll do that. They'll do that. All the while noticing a lot of things that in my head, as somebody, I view football differently than a lot of people, I think. I'm a big humans guy. I want to know the humans that are playing guy. Just because I've been very lucky with my small job that I had as a punter to be in buildings, and seeing what type of shit works and what type of shit clearly doesn't. We're almost completely defeated one year. We could have been completely undefeated one year. I've had the opportunity to kind of see it. So whenever there's just like red flags popping up, like shite franchises do that, shite franchises do that, that's crop right there. That is more crop right there, all the while supporting it. And it's like, inevitably, whenever it all kind of kabooms, it's like, the tea leaves were there the entire time that this is a crap organization. What's going on right now? This locker room, most crop, I think. Now, building, certainly, we got some problems. But this, Frank Reich, I mean, I don't know how the fuck we got here. I think is like my biggest takeaway. Like, how is this? Because they've paid everybody at a lot of pillar positions. There's talent all across the board on the Indianapolis Colts, high-end guys, across the board. And for one reason or another, it's just expected that they're going to lose good teams. It's just expected. And then, like, the way they go about it and the things that happen there, it's like, I don't think it represents the state of Indiana or Indianapolis or Colts fans at all the way they play either. And they've never fucking won in the way they act. It's like, yeah, I just couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, I just couldn't yeah, here's your popcorn. I hope you're happy, Jake. I couldn't take it anymore. But
I hear you. No, you supported him for a long time. You did. Like I through tough times, I think you supported him for a long time. I think you had early in the year, you had the little where we all saw okay, that's something there. That's what he actually feels. But you bounce right back, support him again.
Whoa! What are you talking about? You're talking about
You let us into the brain, and then you took us back out. And you said, "No, I support them. I will support them." And then it didn't. You gave them the second shot, and they didn't do it. So here we are. Which you're not. I don't think anybody's really disagreeing with what you're saying. I think there's obviously, like, when you just look at the stats and you look at the reality of the situation, it is what it is. On paper, you literally can look at it and see this has not worked out. Whatever you have tried, whatever it has been, it simply has not worked. So you have to find a different path. If you're an organization like the Indianapolis Colts, who has obviously been a great organization, who is in this division, this division has been bouncing a little bit all over the place, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's been considered one of the toughest divisions in football over time.
No.
And you haven't won it when everybody else has won it twice. And there's a couple teams in there, or at least one team in there, that's had the number one draft pick multiple times in that same time span. And they found a way to win it twice at least. Like, you have to do something different. And I'm very curious. I'm very excited to see what happens in this offseason, because I also imagine there's probably some people pushing back, being like, okay, well, we also don't want to just give in and seem like Pat McAfee is running this entire show. But you've said a lot of things that a lot of people need to hear.
Listen, there's other people saying things that I'm saying too. It's not just Pat McAfee.
No, you're the only one. You're the only one.
Okay, there's a lot of people that have said this entire thing. But that's what the situation is. Anthony Richardson will be entering his third year, 2.25 seasons completed if he was to play. Well, it depends on how many games he misses next year, but he's entering his third year. Shane Steichen, if you move on from...
Is it a landing spot for Rodgers? Kind of
All right.
Not a bad idea.
He said he's open to mentoring someone.
He said he would take a pay cut too to mentor and the whole song and dance. But it's like, Chris Ballard's been here for 8 years or something like that. And he's a good dude. Like, I think we all appreciate him. Like, as a human, he is. He's very nice. He's good in the community too, I think, which we're not even going to talk about the locker room and an award for a player going to a mascot. Like, we're not even going to get into that. But, like, if Chris Ballard was to stay and then Steichen's to stay, so then everything's staying the same. They're just saying one more year. We're going to do this one more year and see how it goes. It's like, okay, that's possible. I think that's very possible. If he moves on, or they move on from Ballard, then Steichen's lame duck coach, just like Chuck was whenever they moved on from Grigson for Chris Ballard. And then what happens with Anthony Richardson is what. So I don't know. I assume the right move is they are going to continue with the same batch. And it's going to be some uncomfortable days for me if we happen to be at events, which I don't go to, but let's say I go to one, and there's an event where a bunch of Colts players are, but sounds like they don't go out in the community anyway, so maybe that's not the case.
There you go.
You got to give me the mascot thing. What's the mascot thing?
You know the Salute to Service Award?
Yeah.
Blue won it this year. All right, okay. All right, there's no reason.
Who votes on that? Who
The
votes
team!
You got to be. There's no way. There's no.
Blue's a great mascot. Gives back to the community.
Love Blue.
Blue should be up for the fucking Walter Payton Man of the Year if we're going to put him up.
It might be.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, he won the Salute to Service Award. So it's like, you can't even, nobody even in there is worthy of giving, like, what are we doing?
We got hope, though. We got hope. Remember
Just be kind of likable.
Do you remember how much of a shit show the Houston Texans were for years?
Dumpster fire.
And look at them back-to-back playoff appearances. We got hope.
AR's like Stroud. I like that.
I'm just saying we got hope going forward. Okay?
What are you saying?
Where is it?
What is the forward look like?
Where's the hope?
You got to. I think. Look, you keep talking about good guys and all this shit. I don't care if somebody's a good guy. Like, you got to get shit done. You got to get the job done. Yeah, you want to be a good human, but, like, if you're leading off for, hey, this person's a good guy, like, look, wholesale changes, you got to start from the top. And I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but you got to go back to the drawing board. Like, that shit yesterday,
dude.
And that was just a culmination of kind of what it's been. And you know how people say, hey, it doesn't show up till it show up? That shit yesterday when you're lurking and you go up into...
We were lurking! lurking, Jage. With how
go to
bad this is
MetLife,
going,
like-
we were lurking.
That was awesome.
Like Drew Lock put 45 on you. Like, I mean, that's.
Now, Drew Lock might be where
watch-
he's supposed to be.
Giants
the tone,
were a tea kettle. They were just waiting to explode.
Exactly, like Billy O'Brien.
Yeah.
That's what the Giants were. Tea kettle Giants is what everybody was saying. They were steaming, whistling, and then
17.
boom! Colts need this one. Must win. The Colts, and
Must win.
No, I mean that offense that you guys faced had been high powered all year long.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody saw it, so it was.
all right, Judge.
Nobody can blame you for giving that up to that.
But I think there are like
I'm with D-Butt, though. I hear what you're saying, D-Butt. Like, sometimes you got to have some just pure dogs. Like, this is,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a violent,
Every time.
tough, physical game. Sometimes you just got to have a dog that's going to grab somebody by the face mask and say, hey, this is what we're going to fucking do today, and this is who we're going to be.
that's
and-
football. Yeah, that's football. We need that. And it's like, that's why every time I say, like, Zaire is probably going to be all pro. This guy, the amount of tackles he had, he's a phenomenal football player, Zaire Franklin. But it's like, all this shit is happening in his locker room, too. And I don't expect him to be like, not everybody's like a vocal leader, but at some point when you're constructing a team, you need somebody who is some sort of leader. Like, like Ryan Kelly. I love Ryan Kelly. Like, Ryan Kelly, the center, but I don't think Ryan Kelly's like vocal. Like, when you're constructing a team, you need somebody or some people. You would hope in each room you would have somebody, but it's like it just feels like it's just the culture's crop. Like nobody really.
It's tough, man. I mean, I've obviously, like, I can't sit here and act like I haven't been on a 2-14 team before. Like, I know what that like. It is shit, man. And you're right. It just takes a little groundswell. But sometimes there are other bigger factors at play that you do need a full blown culture shift, because if you're in that locker room and you're trying to change a culture, but nobody above you is supporting it, you're just, like you said, you're a lame duck. So you
Pissing
could be
in
in
the
that
wind,
locker
brother.
room
Pissing in the wind.
and everybody's like, why would I listen to this when it's clearly being allowed at this level, at this level, at this level? Like, it has to be a full blown organizational push to change an entire culture, and everybody has to be on the same page, and everybody has to stick to that. And it's very difficult to do when there's so many people in one place.
Yeah, to your point about the people above you kind of rowing against you, it's like once you set precedent too, it's over. Like if you set precedent with anything, it's over. And if it's not good, you can't just like get that back. That's not something you can just put the toothpaste back into the tube once something happens, And I'm not pointing directly at one contract holdout, but it did happen at the very beginning of a guy's career in a brand new culture in a very loud way. After it's just like, I don't think Anthony Richardson had a shot in like knowing how to be a pro. I don't think he had a chance.
It's
In college, you didn't play much, didn't win much, but it was like potential's there. Then he goes into the Colts building, and it's like best player on team, holding out, wearing a hoodie, 2.5 weeks, potting around to start this entire thing. That's how the NFL is now, he thinks, right? It's just there's no real – and then once you just start steamrolling that thing, and there's been 6 years of that kind of before it, it's easy for young guys just to catch in and be like, oh, this is how this shit goes. And then it's just – just never ends. Like, I don't know how I legitimately don't know how you stop that thing and be like, not anymore. Nope, I don't know. I legitimately don't know how it's stopped.
Get luck on the horn. Just get luck on the horn. See what that general manager job pays. Yeah, just get him back out there.
That would be great, actually, if we had Andrew Luck play.
But
that goes back to like what you asked Shefty in the first hour. It's like ultimately like, who's making the decisions? Because like Irsay's there, but if he's not making the decisions, then you just have like a void of leadership at the top. And you would think after hearing that stat about how every other team in the division has won 2 division titles in the last 10 years and you haven't won any, like most owners would be like, all right, this is unacceptable. Like we need to make a change, but that's not happening. So like if you do just go status quo and just run everything back next year, like we saw the way the fans were today. Like, I mean, dude, like the overreaction tweets, like guess what? Not as many people are going to be showing up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed to go to Colts games.
The Colts are such. We need to win. We just need to win. They just need to win.
It's also like you guys have, like, if you're sitting there looking at it, you're like, okay, what are our different options? Okay, we tried Rivers, Ryan, Flacco. We also drafted the young guy early. We tried the young guy early. So we've tried the young rookie. We've tried the old vets who have been like, it's a tough. it's a tough spot to be in.
Middle of the pack, Dan Jones.
We tried a high quality coordinator from a place. We tried a guy that's never coached in his life. We've tried
Jeff
all
Saturday
sorts
was
of
brought in to try to bring a little accountability back in the building. Okay, he was.
I'm just saying. I'm sure they're looking at it like, all right, we're attacking it from all these angles. None of these ones worked. What's the next angle that we're going to try? I mean, the Texans. We were in a tough spot, obviously, for the last 2
Say, hey, next year,
we're not taking a year off.
Next year, if the Colts are on your schedule, guess what? We're out. We're going to take 1 year. We're going to
breather.
We're going to completely just wash this thing dry, and then we're going to figure out where our future is. And also, fire sale. You want one of our players? Come on, it's like a yard sale. You come on over. We kind of barter a little bit, and then you can leave with them.
Yeah, because
That'd be a couple.
in college you can have 60 guys hit the portal, right? And you can really turn over.
Oh, yeah.
You can really. I don't know if it works like that with the NFL.
Until now.
I heard Peters over there in Washington. Bill just said he signed 20 free agents. They try to turn that thing over. 20 that's less than half. In college, they can sign 80 new guys. I hate this place. All of you gone. Bringing in a whole new roster. NFL, you can't do that.
Bill might do it this year.
UNC?
Yeah, after that Fenway Bowl, shit lacking.
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
Boston College just beat the hell out of them.
No,
that's
not
good.
Boston.
Now they were in the they were in the Bad Boy
disrespect.
Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Who was it?
That was UConn.
Yeah,
UConn.
Jim Morris,
New
UConn
Hampshire?
Huskies.
UConn?
In Fenway Bowl.
New Hampshire.
Fenway Park.
I knew it was a New England school. I didn't.
Boston College.
UConn?
UConn is New England.
Billy O's up there. Boston.
UConn's legit, though.
Damn right.
They're legit.
Well, Moore actually said,
Oh, he's pissed.
we fucking see you and we don't like it. That's what he came out and said. You're poaching our guys? I know who you are, and I don't like it. Not one bit, Jim Morris said. It's a wild time. We do know who you are. Think hard before you tamper with our players, says UConn's head coach, Jim Moore, fresh off a
9-4
season.
Nice.
Wasabi Bowl.
Fenway.
Brett?
Fenway Wasabi Bowl.
What does he mean?
Is it the Fenway Wasabi Bowl?
Wasabi.
Played at Fenway Park.
Boston
Fenway Bowl.
College played in the Bad Boy Lawnmowers Pinstripe
Against
Bowl
Nebraska.
against Nebraska.
And New York. That was the one I saw.
yep.
And Matt Rule gave a great post-game interview after that win, still wearing full jacket because it was cold as shit.
They almost came to blows, those two teams.
Yes.
Dylan Rayola took a late hit. And
Yeah.
I saw that. The boys,
that
the boys got his back.
Was that the ref with the gash?
No, that was that was East Carolina and
NC State?
Yep.
NC State. Boys got passion over there, so a little rivalry. And ref got caught up in the middle of that thing.
Season's been
Damn.
Ooh.
Banged up.
Hey, listen, boys. And it banged. I said, shut up. I don't like that happened. Obviously, we need our officials to remain healthy and everything, but the boys came out with some emotion and started to fight for that Carolina. There was some booms.
Well, I still care. I like it.
No, not all of them. I think it's pretty
a lot of it's been
good ball.
yeah.
Good ball. Cam Ward only played a half, though, so kick him out.
Quit on his team.
He'll be a second rounder now for sure.
Guy doesn't like pop.
Team had no idea that was going to happen.
How about, who was it? Daniel Jeremiah got back to his phone. I've been busy with the family all day, so I haven't caught up with all this chatter. NFL teams will not give a fuck about Cam Ward not playing. That was basically what Daniel Jeremiah said. College football is ramping up right now, Jage. Ramping up right now. These playoffs, first round, kind of a little bit of a chalk. A lot of good teams beat a lot of not so good teams. We got some big ones here tomorrow night and then Wednesday.
Yeah, no, first round, I agree. But also, like, that's the teams that were supposed to win won, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes the NFL playoffs aren't great, whatever. This is going to be a lot of fun. Very much looking forward to this. Jealous of you guys out at the Rose Bowl, one of the best, greatest settings of all time, and this game is insane. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All right. Before we let you go, we have to ask you about the most valuable player and the most best player. Also, all your other awards that are potentially something you care about.
No ties.
I don't know what you're talking
What's
about.
the most best?
You're not allowed to say it's a tie. It's a cop-out. You can't do it.
So the most best player is the offense player of the year. Or defense player of the year.
Could be.
Could be.
They could sneak in there.
They could be the MVP. The MVP is valuable, which is why quarterbacks normally, because quarterbacks are the most valuable part of the
Got
team.
it.
That was explained by an email from the AP.
That was not.
What's that?
That was not in any. That was just Acho, who is
Are you a peer of yours?
peer of mine. I'm starting to think that maybe no one votes except for Acho, and we just say, hey, We put him in charge.
Oh, it sounds like he's a little jealous.
No,
jealous of the.
Yeah, he's jealous. A little bit.
No,
little
he
bit.
just understands the rules better than everyone else.
AP stands for Acho's picks.
Oh,
Okay.
boom! It should be maybe with the way Tone's reacting right now.
Yeah.
Tone knows that there's a chance. How many voters is there now?
50?
That could go down to one quickly, especially with the way things are going. I appreciate the way Acho has been explaining these awards. But can you give us your watch list for the MVP and then the 2 MVPs?
Yeah, so how it works out is you vote for 5. So for all these, I put up 5 on the watch list for the MVP here. We're looking at it here. Josh, Lamar, Joe, Saquon, and Sam Darnold round out my top 5. A lot of people think this is a 2-person race, and it depends on the eye of the voter, the eye of the beholder on what you think valuable is. Because a lot of people can define valuable in different ways. Last year, the voters defined valuable as most wins because Lamar did not have the best stats, but he did have the best record at 14-2. He also had great stats, don't get me wrong. But Dak and Josh Allen had better stats last year. And you look at it this year, Lamar, Joe Burrow have better stats than Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is he doing it with less? People say, I don't know. That's up for people to decide. And then Saquon, 2,000 yards. Yeah. Unbelievable what Sam Darnold's done coming off. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can happen.
Let's talk about the Josh Allen stuff a little bit because what you just talked about is last year Lamar won. Stats were good, but best team. He was best player and most valuable player for the best team. Josh Allen now, the Bills' best team in this particular conversation because there's no Chiefs up for the MVP. But his stats aren't as good. Why are his stats phenomenal? He didn't play fourth quarter this past weekend, right?
I mean, the stats are still phenomenal. Like last year, Lamar had 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Josh Allen had 44 touchdowns last year, so he clearly had a lot more touchdowns. This year, Lamar has 43 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Josh has 40 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Joe has 44 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. They're all absurd. They're like this year, the stats, they all have absurd stats. So it depends on how you look at it.
Okay. I'm happy I'm not a voter. Jage, let's say you were a voter. Are you a voter, Jage?
No, thankfully. I'm very happy I'm not.
How do you think it should be viewed, and what are your thoughts on this year's race?
I mean, obviously, this goes back a ways for me. I'm a believer that no player on the field is more valuable than the quarterback, so I agree that MVP is always and should be a quarterback award if we're truly going off valuable. And I also look at the word valuable in that. Like, it's if you took that player off of their team, which one is going to drop off the most, in my opinion? Like, and going stat by stat in this category especially is tough because there's other things that come into play. Because if you're behind in games and you're throwing, you're definitely always like Joe Burrow is having an unbelievable year, an insane year, rightfully so, is in this conversation. But when you're also behind in games and chasing, your numbers are going to be way, way higher. So it's a really tough one. Like if you take Saquon off the Eagles, how far are they dropping? If you take Josh off, dude, this is insane. Like I also agree with what Tony said this weekend. I don't like not the tie part, but I do agree that voters get fatigued. We've seen it in other sports MVPs. We've seen it in. It could be where they're like, all right, we maybe gave it to him last year, but we're not going to give it to him again this year, or he already has 2, so let's give it to somebody else. Like that absolutely does happen, and it shouldn't. And I also think, last thing, is I think there's a lot of people that have already either written it down on their sheet or at minimum made up their mind even before Christmas. I think there's a lot of voters that
can't do that.
That put their stuff down and it's over their
out of
story.
it, AP.
Can't do that.
Kick them out.
That's what I just saw people saying. The race is over like 2 weeks ago.
No.
Oh, who said that?
People.
Nope.
I don't know if
one
they have
guy.
votes.
Who's that?
Does he have a vote?
It was Dan Orlovsky.
No,
What?
he apologized. He apologized this morning. He said he was sorry.
He said he was sorry?
He legit, first time I've ever heard Dan say, I'm
No
sorry.
way.
Legit.
He was sorry, though.
For
Yeah.
what?
I mean, he's been right about everything else this weekend besides that, but he was sorry about saying that.
Dan did have a hot weekend on the X.
He did. He always does. He never brings up how Mac Jones would have won all those Super Bowls with the 49ers.
What are you talking about, Gumps?
I don't know. I never see him talk about that one.
Dana is having a nice little fucking Monday right now. There's no reason to do this.
And Mac's spinning it in Jacksonville right now.
to their detriment.
Don't look now.
Yeah.
To their detriment.
They're going to hate him forever.
He did call to Sam Darnold. He was on an island with that one. He spoke very highly of Sam Darnold in Minnesota this year.
Shut up, Butch.
That's my guy. Dano's
Not
my guy.
talking
UConn
about
legend.
that,
We love
Butch.
Dano as well.
That's the most fascinating offseason situation that I'm looking at. Like that one's crazy, man.
What do you think
That one.
happens? What do you think happens?
I mean, you, in my opinion, you have to, at minimum, franchise and try and hold on. Like, you can't take a guy that's going 14-2, possibly number 1 overall seed, and
I don't think they can franchise. I assume there
no,
no
I don't know.
franchise. 1 year, 10
I asked somebody that rule, and they said they could. So,
well,
I could
maybe
be completely off here.
legitimately, I think it's all dependent upon how it's negotiated.
Well, it's 43 million is the number anyway. So if you're going to pay him, like, I think you have to try and run it back. It is way too damn hard to find a quarterback that fits what you want to do, that can be successful in this league. I think you have to try and hold on to that guy. It's proven successful. I would much rather bird in the hand versus 2 in the bush. If J.J. McCarthy comes in and he forces you to make a change and you overspent, fine. But you can't, like you could have the number 1 seed right here in the first round bye. You're telling me you don't want to run that back even if, like, I don't know. That's tough, man.
A bird in the hand as opposed to 2 in the bush. Potential will get your ass fired.
Oh,
What
yeah.
J.J. Watt just said right there. Hey, we know it's possible if J.J. is able to just pick it up as quick as possible, or maybe we find another guy that's been around the block a few times, sign him to a 1-year deal, run it back because Kevin O'Connell can draw plays for anybody. Justin Jefferson can catch the rock from anybody. Addison's a weapon. TJ's obviously a monster. Is B-Flow going to be a head coach somewhere?
Oh,
Potentially.
It could be.
he definitely
You
could.
would think.
Because $43 million is franchise tag for a quarterback. These are your stats. You just said that. Have we found out if Sam Darnold?
So I just looked it up. Albert Breer wrote a article on the 27th, and the title was "For Vikings and Sam Darnold, the franchise tag makes sense."
Okay, so if it is possible, $43 million would be a win. You would think with how Sam Darnold has played thus far. Because
I wonder. I had the same question you had. Like, I was like, a 1-year deal. I'm not sure that you can. I asked somebody and they said you could, but it does feel strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, especially you should be able to negotiate that out of your deal, I think, if you're signing. Because this is like his 3rd deal he'd be signing, right? Because did Carolina end up being
Yeah, he got. I mean, it was like 2 years, $20 million or something, right? I think it was pretty similar to the one he signed with the Vikings.
and then 9
You have to figure there's also not a lot of 1-year deals that they think the franchise tag is ever going to come into play, because why would you be on a 1-year deal if you could potentially be making 43 the next year?
Yeah.
You can negotiate the tag out of your deal, though, I think, right? Because you can get trade. You can negotiate trade out. and
You can negotiate it out, like Dak did it, Brady did it, but I think you got to have the leverage like they had, where they were putting up massive numbers. And
So $10 million plus we get a franchise tag option. Because if they have 1 franchise tag option, it actually means, do they get 2 franchise tag options on a 1-year deal?
Oh yeah.
You would have to imagine, right?
So
That's wild.
So then that's an increase of what, 20% from your previous year?
I'm spewing a lot of things I don't know a lot about.
So that'd be like $50 million. It'd be $43 million.
There's a
then
headline.
Like $50 million-ish the next year. So he would technically sign a 3-year, $103 million deal is what these 3 years would be if he was to do the math.
That would be. I'm surprised 43 is the number.
Feels like it should be much higher.
Yeah, what is it, average of the top 5 or no?
Salaries, not the bonuses, though. I think it's just top 5 salaries at the position of the last 5 years. I believe they might have changed it over the last. I got franchise tag, so, a lot of kicker bonuses take place. Those aren't in it, conveniently enough. Not a lot of, just salaries, the punters and kickers. This is what you're going to make, $2.4 million. Deal. To kick a ball, I will sign that. Should have signed it that quick, I guess. Okay. Everybody else holds out a little bit. I didn't know that. I heard I was going to become a millionaire, guaranteed. I fucking signed it. Went to Canada, celebrated, then found out, wow, this guy's grossly underpaid. That was me. And then that's kind of the franchise tag in a nutshell. Kirk Cousins used it to his advantage whenever he was with Washington.
At the time, it was the Redskins. At the time.
That's journalism.
That is correct.
Yep.
He is the franchise tag
back.
king. Absolutely crushed it.
And Vinatieri also, I think, got franchise tag like 3 years straight up in New England. Then they had to change the rule. He can only do it 2 times. But if a 1-year deal could become a 3-year deal with 2 franchise tags, that feels weird, doesn't it?
It does. I think I'm going to go back to my phone and there's going to be somebody explaining to me that either I'm an idiot or, it is weird.
Probably never happened before.
I think you have to. Either way, no matter what it is.
I'm FaceTiming a general manager right now randomly. Let's see if they answer.
Okay.
It'd probably be the first time ever where a player on a 1-year deal got a tag.
Hey, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Hey, you hear me?
This is exciting.
Would Sam be a free agent after the season? Could other teams make offers?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like there's no
no
way
way the Vikings will pay him
right to the end of.
Yeah, though. I mean, like they're
anybody could pay him.
Someone's going to give him
$1 billion.
Yeah, they'll give him a massive deal when multiple teams are bidding for him.
Yeah, I feel like it would be talked about more.
Weird spot. You're right, Jage. Weird spot.
Has to be the first time ever that somebody 1-year deal franchise tag.
Who are you talking to? Both of you guys pointing at me. Oh, you're pointing. Vamp. You know that you ever heard Vamp? Jage, you ever hear that in the broadcast?
Yeah.
Just Vamp for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Which means just talking like. Yeah. I'm like, why do you? Let's just tell me to
so
talk.
everything you just said, franchise tag is possible. Obviously, this is an abnormal situation. The second year franchise tag is 20% more than what that year is. And there are some contracts that have no franchise tag clauses in them, but obviously that's a part of the negotiation up in the front end of that. That person also said would be wild if a 1-year deal became a 3-year deal with 2 franchise tags in the entire thing. I don't think they've ever seen that point. So,
but I'd franchise him. If I can spend $43 million to possibly get the number 1 seed again, no doubt.
And what else do you do? What else do you do, Jage? You punt that decision to next year.
That's right.
You don't even have to fucking make it.
Oh, yeah.
You just let's go ahead and take that thing to next year. We'll see you then. $43 million. That's a good deal. Fully guaranteed deal. Had fun here, right? Probably could get 50 on the market somewhere, but take a $7 million hit here for guarantee. We have a good time, and then we'll see where we are next year, and then maybe we can learn more about JJ. That's the move, JJ. Yeah, that's the move.
Yep.
It does make for a tough offseason. There's no doubt because JJ McCarthy's going to be healthy and he's going to be out there spinning it. And people are going to say, I mean, that's
Jordan Love.
I don't think it matters. I think you take the guy that took you to whatever it is. If they do end up getting the 1 seed, and that is your guy, especially when you look at that locker room, the way that they're celebrating, the way that they love him right now. It's also give just an insane amount of credit to Kevin O'Connell. Like the guy clearly knows what he's doing. Also, let's talk about how coaching matters more than just about anything. Coaches, it's one of the things that I asked Mike Tomlin in our production meeting before the Christmas game was, if you were hiring a head coach in today's atmosphere, would you offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, CEO type? And he was like, in today's world, has to be an offensive mind, has to be a guy that's an offensive mind because the quarterback's the most. So that was a really interesting take from a notoriously defensive guy.
Wow, that's a big piece of information right there.
Wow.
Especially because I thought it was coming back to Culture Center, being the head coach. That's why I thought it was kind of swinging in that direction, because I think there's a couple places that are like, if Vrabel's available, let's make sure we get Vrabel in here because he will.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, does that piss me off.
Why does that piss you off?
Hell?
J.J. Watt pisses you off?
No. What do you say? Quarterback's the most. We had fucking Matt Canada hanging around for 3 years. That was the guy.
God. You are hot.
Son of a bitch.
What did you just wipe off with a dude wipe?
Notes. He had notes, sir.
See the ball throw Kenny yesterday?
What's that, buddy?
See the ball throw Kenny Pickett yesterday?
I've been waiting to spit
I
that
saw
out
that.
all
And
day.
obviously, dude.
That's what you wrote down there? That's what you wrote down there?
It's pretty good.
It did throw him. Took him for a walk, didn't it? Oh, my God. That was the note you put down.
You got the other angle, right?
Which, yeah, of course.
There is no other angle.
That's the only angle.
Of course, we got the other angle.
Dude, because I got thrown for a loop there. I sent it to my buddy, like my brothers, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. What the hell happened? And like, it was the perfect lie gets around the world before the truth gets his pants on. And I saw the other, I was like, oh, I'm an idiot.
What other angle? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's another angle?
I feel bad. I've been on that, man. I know what that feels like. That's the worst when like there's times where you look like an idiot and you don't have to look like an idiot.
He doesn't look like it. It's football. It's Kenny Pickett football.
Trying to make a play.
He's been spinning over there.
Yes.
McKee comes in, spins it.
He was spinning.
They tush pushed him.
It's almost like
Kenny-
anyone can spin it.
A little bit too high. What's that?
It's almost like anyone can spin it over there.
Where are you talking
that
about
shot
in
at?
Philadelphia?
Yeah, Tanner McKee comes in, ice cold, just tosses 2 tutty snacks, no
Yeah,
problem.
but McKee, we know.
I'm worried about potentially seeing him round one of the playoffs.
McKee?
Yeah.
Well, I love that Big Dom got his football back.
Yeah.
Because I heard McKee potentially wasn't going to be able to sleep at night if he didn't get his football back. A.J. Brown, hell of a throw, too. I mean, like, to his credit, sees it, eyes it.
Fuck that guy.
Fucking launches that thing. I mean, that was the guy's first ever touchdown. Oh, no.
He took a lot of time to think about the throw, too. It wasn't an immediate punt into the stands. He took a couple seconds. He had a couple moments to think and still yucked it up there.
Big Dom says, hey, bud, get you a jersey, okay? We'll get it after the game. Can't get it right now. Need that ball back now, though.